Hey everyone. Hope you're doing well. I always want to say good morning or good afternoon, but I realize by the time you see this, it might not be that. So, last week we practiced noticing the good stuff, right? We brought to mind something that happened that was positive or pleasant, or a person that we cared about, and just kind of noticed like how imagining that affected our body, like if it had an effect on our body, and if it was pleasant or positive, we kind of tried to hold on to it to soak it in. We're going to do something a little similar this week. So I'd like you to find your posture. I'm going to start being a little looser with the instructions in the beginning so that you can find your own way. If you go on and carry this practice on your own after the series is over, it's best if you have a way to settle yourself to begin these practices. So go ahead and find your posture, letting your eyes close or low gaze, whichever works. And, having a deep breath or two, noticing any relaxation on that exhale. And beginning to bring your attention inward, out from all the noise and the thoughts, right? And the mind, bringing it more toward the present moment, the experiences that are happening now in your body. You might notice the gravity, the sensation of gravity on the body, or you might notice those contact points that are holding you up. You might notice as you bring your attention closer in, your mind begins to settle, even if it's a tiny bit. And if you notice any settling, you can also notice the sensation of your whole body sitting. So I'm going to invite you to bring to mind a person in your life that naturally makes you smile, someone that you care about, that you have fun with. It could be an animal if you have a hard time finding a person, but some being that you enjoy being around. And as you imagine them, see if you can notice that they're happy. Maybe they're smiling. Maybe they're doing something they love. Bring into mind this image. And as you notice them in your mind, how is that affecting your body? Do you notice anything happening in your body? Are you feeling lighter? Do you feel a little happier? Is it making you smile? Is it awkward? Is it strange? Yeah? Um, However it is, first we notice it. Don't judge it. And if it is pleasant, positive, we really want to soak that in. Yeah? But what we're going to do now is actually send good wishes to this person, this being. And I'm going to say a few, but I invite you to do this in your own language. And as you can even make it specific to that person. So for the most part, the phrases are, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be safe. And again, please make them your own language. Maybe this person is going for a job interview, and may you get that job, may you find your peace, may you, however you want to say it to them. So a few phrases, no more than 3, and we're just going to gently, with as much attention as we can bring to it, as much focus, send this goodwill to this person, being that we chose. And I'll repeat the phrases just to remind you to repeat yours. So may you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. Noticing them receive this kindness. Noticing if anything's happening for you as you send this kindness. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. Of course, if your mind wanders, you just be okay with that and gently bring your attention back to the image. Bring up the image again and send the good wishes. Okay, so I'm going to invite you to let that image fade. And we're going to change it up a bit. And I'm going to invite you to bring to mind an image of yourself. So it could be as a child, as you are now, your future self. Just really see yourself in your mind's eye. You could be smiling. Notice what's happening. Is there a difference of when you brought up your friend, your person, your other person, versus bringing up your image of yourself? I'm also going to invite you to send wishes to yourself. Again, in your own words, the way it sounds best for you. So, may I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be safe. You can actually add a gentle hand on your chest or on your belly. Touch seems to make a difference. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be safe. Sort of doing your best to send these wishes with all your heart. And just noticing how that feels to do that. Okay, so go ahead and let the image of yourself fade. Bringing your attention back to the sensation of your sitting, back to the sensations in your body, noticing the sounds in the room or the sound of my voice. Beginning to come out, letting your eyes open, looking around, stretching, moving some body parts. And when you feel ready, coming back to the screen. Hi. Okay, so that was kindness. We were attempting to sort of induce kindness, right? We see a person, we imagine a person that we care about, and bring an image of a person that we care about and send them good wishes, because that's kind of easy, right? When you like someone, it's easy to send them good wishes. So the point was to try to get the kindness kind of bubbling up so that we can notice it. Yeah. And then when we switch to ourselves, sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not, right? But just noticing it. Bottom line, and even if it was hard to send it to the person that you cared about, bottom line, we were practicing kindness and we were noticing what happens. Yeah. So we're learning to direct our attention. That's what mindfulness is, right? Knowing where our attention is. Is it on worry about math problems or math exams? Is it on the news? Is it on enjoying this good meal, right? And then being able to move it to places that are better for us, to skillfully work with our attention. That's what mindfulness is. Well, we can bring our attention to these positive states, the states like compassion, caring, kindness, forgiveness, right? Gratitude. And yeah, and it's a good thing to bring our attention there. Remember, we talked last week about the negativity bias and how our default mode is to go to the chaos and the drama. Yeah. So we want to work more with being able to bring our attention to the positive states and actually cultivating them, growing them. So I want to show you how bringing your attention more often to something can help you grow it. Okay, but we'll do it with a little experiment. So I'm going to ask you to close your eyes for a sec and just bring your attention to the insides of your palms. Actually, I'm going to change that. Bring your attention to your hands, wherever you feel them most. It could be the palms, it could be the fingers, it could be the back of the hands. So just notice the sensations in your hands right now. Sweaty, tingly, cold. Okay, so now I'm going to ask you to switch your attention and move it to your feet. So what do you notice in your feet right now? Again, the sensations. Can you feel, maybe you feel your shoes or your socks? Maybe they're cold, maybe they're sweaty. Okay, great. So go ahead and open your eyes. So you moved your attention from your hands to your feet. Not a big deal, right? Except for, check this out, it kind of is a big deal, because what I'm pointing to is the fact that you actually have the capacity to move your attention from one place to another fairly easily. Yeah, I can move. You moved it from your hands, you noticed some sensations, and then you moved it to your feet. Now, what if I asked you to move your attention to your liver? How is that? Probably a little bit harder, right? So when I ask in class, when people can talk back to me, why do you think it's harder? Some people say, well, it's because I don't know where my liver is, or because it runs in the background without sensation. Some of these things are true, but the actual biggest reason that it's harder to find it is because we're never asked to bring our attention to our liver. So we're always asked to bring our attention to our hands and our feet. Every time we have to pick something up or type something or step somewhere, we have to know where our hands and our feet are so that we can do what we need to do, right? So all day long, we're bringing our attention to our hands and our feet, and that's why it's much easier to switch attention. We're not asked to bring our attention to our liver, so we don't even know where it is or what it feels like. Yeah. And just to prove that point, that if you were asked to bring attention there more often, you could get there faster. I've had students tell me that they've had issues in the liver, and so they know exactly where it is and what it feels like, and they can bring their attention there faster, right, or easier. But that's because they were asked to bring their attention there because of the pain or the issues, right? So the lesson, and let me share my screen right here. The thing I'm trying to point out today is that the more often your attention goes to some experience, whether it's kindness, like we tried, right? The feeling of kindness in our body, the sensation in our hands, the sensation of gravity, the more often our attention goes there, the easier you can find that experience and feel it, right? It's like having the apps on the front of your phone. You know, when you want to find something quicker, you move the apps to the first page of the phone, right? So that you can get to the positive apps. So it's like, be mindful more often of your positive states like gratitude, compassion, kindness. So you'll have easier access to them when you need them. So to speak, put them on the front of the phone. And again, we do that by being mindful more often of those positive states. So we all have kind of like some, unproductive mental things that we do that don't help us. Like for me, I can actually say that I watch the news probably too much. I'll watch some series that is too violent and it bothers me, right? So these unproductive mental habits, like social media, that type of thing, if we bring our attention to those more often, we're going to have easier access to those states. It's as if we move those apps to the front of our phone, the anger, the fear, right? So the more we go to those states, the easier are to access, and that becomes our default mode. But we want to have more access to the positive ones. So we just be mindful more often of those states, the gratitude, the compassion. And we do that with like the practice that we did this morning. So cultivate, right? Use mindfulness to bring your attention to these positive states like compassion, joy, caring, gratitude, because not only does it help you have easier access to them, but it soothes your nervous system. So like if you're feeling angry at somebody, if you can access compassion because you've practiced it more often, then you get compassion, right? You can bring it up, right? So you're angry, but you go, oh, actually everybody hurts. And so now I have compassion. Yeah. So I want to stop sharing, but I also want to share a story. Well, first of all, I want to say that they're using this practice of compassion with like first responder type professions, because they recognize that these people see tragedy and hurt all the time, right? The social workers, the ER doctors, the firefighter, they're always seeing hard, challenging stuff. And they're worried about those professions burning out emotionally. So they started them on, there's many departments that are having them do this compassionate practice. So it's like, if you're a social worker and this client comes in and they're suffering, they've had the social workers like, okay, as you're taking the case notes and doing all that, be sending them good wishes, cultivate your compassion, because it makes a difference in your body. When I say it soothes your body, it really does. They've put people in brain scans and had them see sad images and stuff, and they see the part of the brain that lights up is the sadness, because we mirror each other's pain. And then they've had them do those practices, and a different part of the brain lights up, and the compassion part. And actually, that's not a burden part, that's a lighter, happier part. So this access to these compassionate, caring, kind states that we have, it helps if we practice them and make them have more access to them, then we're going to be happier. So just looking at the time, the last thing I want to say is one of my own personal examples of moving your attention. from something hard to something good when you practice is being on the Bay Bridge. I was on the Bay Bridge when the 1989 earthquake hit. So I was very close to where it fell down, and being so anxious, I carried a lot of anxiety about being on that bridge. And one day later, a couple years later, I was coming from the underneath. So I was below where the cement could fall on me. And we were stopped in traffic, and kind of the bridge moves. And I was just terrified. And I did that practice. I actually looked at the people next to me, saw their face, and I said, may you be happy. I really wished for it. I looked at the people behind me in my rearview mirror. I looked at all of them. May you be happy. May you be healthy. I wished for them good news. I was cultivating my kindness. And sure enough, my fear left. And by the end of, once we got off that bridge, I was in a really good mood. So you can move your attention from scary states to pleasant states if you practice them often, so that you have easy access to them and you know how to get to them, like your hands and your feet. Yeah. Okay. So thank you for listening, and may you be happy this week. Yeah. May you be healthy and may you be safe. Bye bye.